Hey everyone, thanks for watching this episode of BachMakers. Make sure to
Like
comment.
and subscribe.
Thanks for watching. Keep watching. Hello everyone, welcome back to BachMakers, presented by Good Time Media. I'm Wyatt, that's Michael, and today we are joined by a very, very special guest. Someone, about a year in the making, getting her on. The Leslie train has finally arrived at the station. Choo choo, Michael. There we go. Choo choo, Leslie. Leslie, welcome to the show. We're so glad to finally have you here.
I know. That's crazy. I mean, really, it's been a year. Yeah.
It's insane. It's actually, I do want to get out in front of it and apologize face to face about our first interaction ever. I did call you a dance mom, in quotes, bad. I take that back and I apologize. Dance mom, in quotes, good.
Thank you. And you,
I
you
feel.
also called me a Karen.
Oh no! I
But
was hoping you
Yeah,
forgot about that.
yeah, but
to be fair,
don't
we
you
called a
remember
lot of
my granddaughter
people.
kind of called you out on that? So
Yeah, I deserve it. I deserved it. And now that we know you, obviously that's not true. I was
but
just
you
judging.
were okay. In all honesty and fairness, you were going by a picture of me.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I had no prior conceptions. Yeah.
And out of
Yeah,
about 100 pictures they took, that's the one they chose. And I kind of look like a mean, bad dance mom, Karen. So
gotta roll with the punches. Gotta roll with the punches.
okay.
So how'd you originally get on the show? Were you nominated, or did you apply yourself? Or
No, I saw an ad. I was watching the show and I saw an ad that says if you know of somebody or you or yourself are looking for love in your golden years or something, whatever it said, apply to be on the Golden Bachelor. So I had a group text with my kids and I sent them the link. I basically led them the water and they didn't drink. So I did it myself.
That's awesome. So, as you're going through that, obviously it's a whirlwind. I'm sure it still kind of is because it's only been like a year. This past year's been nuts.
Yeah.
Were you aware of? So you said you watched the show, so you kind of knew, hey, this could lead to people are going to know who I am after this. Were there people on the show that you kind of caught wind of? Hey, they have no idea what they're in for, and they're going to be kind of surprised about people actually watching this show.
You mean some of the girls on the show?
Yeah, we're like, could you tell? Hey, they don't know
Oh,
this show's
Faith,
watched.
Faith never watched the show. She had not a clue.
Oh no.
Not a clue. And most
Oh,
of us, she's the only one that didn't know. Most of us were, avid watchers and knew. And even if some of the girls weren't, they did their homework. Faith, nothing.
oh, good for her. Did you have to prep her as it was
Well, when
like
she
airing?
back with the first impression rose, and she says, "I don't know what this is. Does this mean I win?" We're like, No, but you're got a leg up."
Oh, that's so wholesome. I love that.
No, it was actually cute,
Oh.
annoyingly cute.
you know what? I'll bet that actually kind of helps in the long run.
Yeah.
Not really knowing. You're kind of unfamiliar with the
Well, I
process.
think
That kind of help.
I think that was good for her. Like she just didn't. She said, "I don't watch TV, and I don't know." Her son is the one that I think nominated her or applied for her, whatever. And she had not a clue what she was getting into at all. I think I mean, I knew because I've been watching the show since the beginning, pretty much since Trista really is the one.
Wow.
Yeah, and of course I googled before I went things about it. um I mean, I knew that our phones are going to be taken away. I knew that I kind of knew what to expect a little bit, but she did not.
Oh man. That did you learn any well, actually I want to backtrack. You're a fan of the show. Who who's like your Mount Rushmore of Bachelor Nation? Like who are the top tier I idolize these people?
Well, I think there was two. Trista And then I really, really, really liked Michelle. I mean, she's from Minneapolis. I loved watching her season. I thought she was really authentic and herself. And now that I know her, she was definitely herself. And I thought she's a beautiful person, inside and out. And I just really enjoyed watching her. And so I was, uh, before I knew I was going on the show, I used to work at the Fillmore, which is a music venue here in Minneapolis, and she came in with her friends once. And again, this was before I knew I was going to be on the show. And I gave her VIP, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm your biggest fan!" And I was like fangirling on her and everything. So it was really fun. And then all of a sudden, now that I'm in Bachelor Nation, we've been done a few things together. We've gone to a basketball game and stuff together, and we did actually a whole event together when the Olympic trials came to Minneapolis last June. So she's great. I love her.
She just got engaged too.
Yeah, and her boyfriend Jack is a doll, and they're so cute.
Hot, very hot guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you literally don't know who to look at when they're together.
Yeah.
You're going, okay, and now I got to look at him, and now I got to look at her. They're so cute together, and he's so sweet, and I'm so happy for her.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so good.
So we're obviously both from Indiana, and Gerry was as well.
Yeah.
So was there a point in the show where you like, oh crap, I might actually have to move to Indiana? And if so, please say one nice thing about Indiana.
Well, I mean, I kind of like, we talked about it, and we thought, I think I said, I made a joke that we can be bi-Midwestern, instead of bi-coastal. And, he lived on a lake, and I love lakes. I mean, I'm from Minneapolis or Minnesota. We have a million lakes here. So I was thinking about like going back and forth. I didn't know though at the time that he lived like 3 hours from Indianapolis airport. So I found that out after, but that would have been a little hard for me. But we talked actually about him coming to Minneapolis. So
yeah, he lives in the part of Indiana like I've never been to.
Yeah.
Like there's like parts of Indiana that we're just like, all right, like what Mike and I are both just like north of Indianapolis, like close enough to the city. There's some parts that all right, that's the Indiana that people assume is what Indiana's all like. No, we're cool.
No,
we're fun.
We have the same thing going on in Minnesota. It's like there's cities that people say that they're from Minnesota. I'm like, I don't even know where that is. Okay.
I do have to ask one thing about Gerry and you because it's been driving me crazy for a year that I don't have an answer to. You're probably going to say no and not going to answer this, but what did he whisper in that one clip? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you mean when the hearing aids?
Yeah.
I want to say.
Dang it. That's all right. You don't have to, but like if you ever do say, it could be on this show.
Yeah, he just he gave me a very big compliment.
Okay. All right. I'll leave it at that. Well, if you ever decide to divulge that information, this is a safe space and we're here.
Okay.
Just as long as you know that.
Good.
Cool. That's been killing me. It's been killing me for a year.
I know that.
Well, the world may never know.
Yep.
The world may never
I gotta keep some things.
Yeah.
I respect it. Hide some cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. True. So throughout the season, what was like the worst logistical nightmare, whether in terms of traveling with, that large of a group or the food situation or sleep situation? What was your least favorite part about that whole thing?
Well, we didn't travel except Teresa and I and Gerry traveled to Costa Rica, but not together, obviously. So that was a long trek, but that wasn't really, a nightmare coming home because I was heartbroken. So that wasn't fun. The word I think, living arrangements weren't that easy. I mean, I live alone. I'm not used to living in a room with 3 other women and sharing a bathroom with, 4 of us. So that was a little tough, I can honestly say. I'm kind of low maintenance, so it's funny because they would say to us, we get our coffee in the morning and go out and sit by the pool and have our coffee. And it was really the only time we weren't mic'd. And, we could only really make small talk because they didn't really want us talking without our mics on about things about the show or
Yeah.
anything, which is fine. Um, but then they'd say, okay, have to be ready in an hour and a half. And all the girls would get up and then they're like, I know, Leslie, we'll give you 30 minutes. And then I went in the pool and I swam because I didn't take that long to get ready, you know.
One
Hmm.
thing about those, like your interactions with producers and things, I've always wondered this, and for some reason, I've never asked when we interview contestants. When you're doing your confessional type interviews, where it's just like you in
Yeah.
front of the camera, how are they? How do they prompt you? Do they tell you, "Hey, we're going to ask you this question," and then kind of rephrase it, or what's that conversation? What's that dialogue like?
They just basically ask us questions. Really. They don't
Okay.
really say we're going to ask this and then um they just ask you questions and they're really good at getting you to answer honestly and I was actually amazed at the producers that just they're really good at the job.
Yeah.
They really are. And so, and for some reason, there's a few of them that would just, I would start crying. She'd ask me or he'd ask me something, and I would just cry. I don't know. You're emotional a lot. You don't have your phones and stuff, but you're feeling your feelings.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure. I mean, it's a pressure chamber, it feels like, where you're deprived of so much of the outside world. You're just like in it. So I can't imagine. Like, I'm sure I would break down. I'd cry so much if
Right.
I was in that situation. So
Yeah,
maybe
it
that's,
is. I mean, you're so used to having your phones and constant like a touch of a button you're talking to your kids your grandkids your friends you know what's going on in the world you don't even have to touch a button you just scroll and you hear them see the news and when that's all taken away it's definitely hard on you at first but then to be honest I kind of like not having my phone. I actually
mhm,
felt free and not have to be like a slave to my phone.
yeah,
So it was kind of a good and a bad thing, you know.
yeah. Did you miss
Yeah.
any big current events? I don't remember when you guys filmed,
Um,
but was there something you got back and you're like, oh wow, that happened?
well, it was funny because at one point I'm like, can somebody just tell me what's going on in the world? Like because I'm kind of a news junkie, and that was hard for me not to, you know, put on my MSNBC or CNN, whatever show or even, Good Morning America or whatever. Oops, I'm gonna hold on 1 second.
No, you're
Oh
fine.
yeah, okay. I just want to make sure I focus. Um, but so I think it was one of the cameramen said, "There's fires in Maui," and that's when the fires in Maui happened. And I'm like, "Oh my God, fires in Maui, no!" But that was about all we knew. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
So
wild.
yeah,
so being like a big, news junkie, like you said,
yeah.
after the show, what was your kind of game plan to like recoup and like catch up with everything that
Mhm.
happened in the world?
Well, I got home and I was kind of heartbroken, so I wasn't really in the mood. I didn't really care at that point. It took me about a week to get acclimated and to catch up and to feel my feelings and all that. And then I just kind of to be honest with you, I thought, you know what? I'm going to give up my phone one time a week, like cuz I felt I wanted to kind of keep that
Yeah.
cleanse going, but that didn't work.
It's
Obviously.
hard. I say that all the time. I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna, like, spend 1 hour a day, turn my phone off,
I
and
know.
just talk." Like, it seems so simple,
Yeah.
I
yet
know.
we're controlled by it. It's
Try
so
it for
bad.
try it for a month. That was
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. There should really be a job at ABC. Someone just put together a PowerPoint of here's what you missed while you were filming. That would be awesome.
That's
And then, like,
They
as
need
you're flying home, someone can just, like, go through a PowerPoint and say, like, "This is what you missed."
Yeah, I'd like
an
that. I
ABC.
would have liked that, I turned on my phone when I got it, and I can't even believe it worked. I thought it was gonna break with the text messages. And people were texting me even though they knew where I was gone. And I'm like, "Why are you texting me? I'm not gonna see this." It was so weird. Yeah. I don't know. It was weird. The whole thing was weird. Weird and weirdly good.
Yeah.
You know, it was definitely an experience that I would never want to give up. It was, I say it was the hardest month of my life, but yet probably one of the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then moving kind of post show, obviously you process all of that. I can't even imagine. And then were there any conversations or even thoughts in your head about, hey, Golden Bachelorette, A, would I be interested in this? And B, were there any actual conversations with the network, with any producers about, hey, this is a possibility?
Nobody asked me. Mm-mm.
Okay.
I
Would
never
you
had,
would you have done it?
yeah. hmm
Yeah.
I never had
Oh,
one conversation. Nobody talked to me about it at all.
oh man.
Yeah.
We tried. We did
Yeah,
everything we could.
I
the Batchmakers were leading the choo choo Leslie
I know.
Fhima.
I appreciate that. I actually I was uh I, I was supposed to be, or I was considered for Dancing with the Stars, and I thought I was going to be on that, and that didn't work out either. So
Damn it! Now you're making us hate ABC even more. They keep.
Yeah,
We we were gonna ask about this later
yeah.
about Dancing with the Stars.
yeah,
I think you'd crush it on there. Would you still be open to it? Because I think that door could still be open.
that well, I don't know if that door is going to ever be open again because I have to stay relevant. But I
We'll keep it open for you. We got you.
what?
We'll keep
We'll
it
keep that
open
door
for you.
open.
Yeah.
You guys, if you do that, you got seats to the show. No, I that would be my dream come true. I actually was ecstatic when I got a phone call about it, and I started training. I got a trainer, even though I'm a trainer. I got a trainer. I worked out all summer long. I got in the best shape I have ever been in my life, but I got, it was like towards the end of August where I kind of got cut, and it was, I learned a lot. You never say no to anything because I did turn down a Hulu show because I wanted to concentrate on getting in shape, and don't ever count on anything until you're actually doing it.
100%.
Yeah.
And I
So
think Mike and I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm not a naive person, believe me. I never count on anything. Um, but I just felt like I got this. They want someone older on the show. I can do this. I've been training my whole life for it. I know they've had the oldest winner was Donny Osmond about a decade ago. He was 50. But since then they haven't really had older people advance into the finals. And definitely not a winner since Donny Osmond. But I'm 65. I could have I told them I wanted to be their oldest winner. But I'm so glad Joey won and he deserved it, and it was, awesome to watch. And I was there in October cheering him on. So
That's cool.
yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah. I'm glad he won.
How do you I'm so fascinated about like how you have to handle things post show because I can't imagine how hard it is to because you don't want to like fully close that door because you want to stay open to possibilities like either Golden Bachelorette, Dancing with the Stars, but you also have to, hey, like I got to get back to my life, but then also like people recognize you now, so there's more opportunities. So like I just there's not really a question here. I just more applaud you for balancing that, but also like how in the world do you handle all that? Because it's just
Yeah.
you don't know how to close. You want to close some doors because you got to move on, but you also want to keep it open. I don't know.
Like Wyatt, you literally hit the nail on the head. Exactly how I feel and how I'm trying to navigate it. Um, that was great. It's exactly that. I want to be back to my normal life, but what's normal when, you know, I go out and people want selfies with me, or I'm
Mhm.
walking down the street and a whole bunch of girls stop and go, Leslie, Leslie, like that's not normal to me. I
Yeah.
mean, I live in Minneapolis my whole life and people know me because I've been teaching classes and stuff. But so they'll say, oh, there's Leslie. I take her class. They don't run up to me and ask me for a selfie or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, I got invited to the movie about Bob Dylan that Timothy Chalamet was in, and he was here the other day, and I got invited to the screening, and I walked through to get to the door. Everyone's like, Leslie, Leslie. I'm like, oh my God, this is so weird.
Yeah. God.
And my name's on a seat. I mean, that kind of stuff wouldn't have happened before. So it's opened a lot of doors. I can't say that it's not a negative.
Mhm.
My friends think it's funny when we go out and people are staring at me or coming up to me and stuff. Um, they actually say to me all the time, you're so good about you just say yes to everybody. I'm like, well, this is what I signed up for. Plus, I appreciate their support, and they watched me, they like me. Who am I to say no to them? I appreciate it. So, um, yeah. I mean, it's different, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to balance it. You know.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, I don't know, Mike, if you have anything there, but I just think as long as you have the perspective of this is still a cool thing that's happening,
Mhm.
I think you're good. That's just where I come from. Like, we get to do some cool things every now and then, even like interviewing you. It's a cool moment, like fun, super fun to have you on. And I think as long as we keep it in the perspective of this is a cool thing that we're doing and it doesn't become just like part of the job,
Right.
Mhm.
then you start to blur those lines. So as long as it stays and you kind of not romanticize it, but are kind of playing like this is fun. This is a cool thing that I get to do.
Cherish.
Yeah, cherish the moment. Yeah.
I mean, I'm a very grounded person, I think, anyhow. So I kind of just go with the flow. I mean, of course, things, upset me or set me off. But in my older age, I've kind of learned to let things go. So I'm just kind of go with the flow. And, you know, I mean, this definitely, I was upset about Dancing with the Stars. I was really upset, not upset, I guess sad, disappointed.
Yeah.
But life goes on, and that's kind of been my attitude towards life. Gotta just
Yeah.
roll with the punches.
Yeah. 100%. How now kind of moving back to just people you've met through the show. Your relationship with Teresa has been very fun to kind of follow over the year.
Yeah.
How has that kind of evolved through like the three phases of obviously on the show, then she has the golden wedding, and then now post show?
Well, so we were good friends in the house. I mean, we made friends, she was like-minded like me. Like, we like fit, maybe not. She's not really. I mean, she's a very healthy eater, but like, fitness and health and wellness and all that we kind of bonded over. And she's funny. She actually makes me laugh. And she's a very kind-hearted person. So we were friends, and then like we're the last two left, and I could see in her eyes that night she was like, oh my God, I can't believe it's come down to this. And that was it. I wasn't going to see her anymore. We were going to Costa Rica, but obviously not all together. And that was going to be it for us. And so that was, the last time I really saw her. And then we came back and I was, upset. And she reached out to me via text. And at that point, I wasn't mad at her, obviously. I was just, still a little bit heartbroken, and I really didn't answer her back, maybe just like a one liner. She wrote me a really nice text, and and then, sh- she called me up to ask me to come to the wedding. She goes, and at that point, when she called me, it was like, say, December 19th or something like that. I was fine by then, and in fact, we had texted a little bit since then, but I was fine. And she asked me to come, and I said, I'm gonna have to think about it. And I thought about it, and I kind of weighed out the pros and the cons of going. Um, and the pros were really like, I don't want to miss a really good party, and I want to see all my friends from the show. So,
Yeah.
the cons would be like, people are gonna be mad. People are gonna say, "Why is Leslie there?" But at that point, I could care less. And so I went.
How was that experience being there? Was it this is me closing this chapter almost, where it's like, I don't know, was there any type of, not, I don't know what the word I'm looking for. What's the word, Michael? Help me.
Uncomfortability.
Yeah, but like closure almost.
Oh,
Like,
closure. Uh,
yeah.
That's the word you were looking for? That's the word
I
you couldn't
can't. I'm not
find?
good with words, Mike. Calm down.
Weren't you a communications major?
Yeah, but come on. Hey, we're supposed to work together here. You're supposed to help me out.
Alright,
funny. Closure. I felt like I already had closure. There was one part that I was a little uncomfortable with during the ceremony because, and again, I was over Gerry at that point, and I'm watching them going, this makes way more sense. Like, I thought, they're a good couple. But like when Gerry said something about Costa Rica, and he said something about it, and I'm like, well, I was there too. And I mean, it was just one of those, it was like a fleeting thing, and it came and it went. And then this is an exclusive because I haven't ever said this to anyone out of all the 20 podcasts I've done. So or more, maybe, I don't know. But it was a fleeting thing. He said something about Costa Rica, and I was in Costa Rica too, and there was part of being in Costa Rica was when Gerry's telling me I was the one. So for like literally 10 seconds, I went, and then I was done with that. So
Sure. Yeah. I mean, props to you for going there, because that'd be. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how. That's just very big of you. I think that's pretty cool.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You know what? Sometimes you got to rise above everything, and I was okay with it. I was at that point. If I was still heartbroken and really like the way I felt when I got home, I would have never gone. But I wasn't. Yeah. And I wanted to see my friends. So
That helps. That
it
helps.
did really
Um,
help.
s- so now let's jump to the infamous picture. There's a picture of you and Jordan from Jones season, and it kind of
God,
I would say went
into that.
viral.
Okay.
So whose idea was the picture? What's the backstory behind it?
So the
What's the
backstory
tea?
is I am the one that reached out to Jordan. I
Ooh.
slid into his DMs because
Whoa.
I was basically telling him that I really enjoyed watching him on the show. And he didn't know this, but like I have, Minneapolis, Chicago, it's, Jewish people there, whatever. I'd have people say, "Oh my God, I know someone that knows Jordan," or like my friend knows who Jordan. My friend has a friend that knows Jordan, like things like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I just basically reached out to him, and we just started kind of um texting each other via DM, via um Instagram. Nothing, nothing, just like I really, we talked about the show. I mean, there's not a lot of people that understands exactly what he went through. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
Um
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm a year ahead of him, and he just got off, and not that he needed help navigating it, but he had a question here, a question there, and I'd answer it. I'd tell him, this, do that, whatever. It's not, I was helping him a little, maybe with his social media, just giving him some pointers that, a year ago I didn't know. And
Yeah.
so I was going with Teresa, meeting Teresa in LA to see Dancing with the Stars. I was going to be in the audience. And but it was a kind of on the heels of the Men Tell All. So he was still in LA, and I came early because I have family there and friends in LA. So I was coming a couple days early to hang out with my family and friends. And so then one day he's like, I have tickets to a suite to a soccer game in LA. My friend is the president of the league and I have a suite. You should come. And I'm like, and it just so happened that I was coming in that day and my friend who I was staying with was like, I'd love to go with you. So we went and we had a suite and I met Dr. Bob, I met Gil.
Nice.
Uh, yeah, yeah. And Dr. Bob's daughter, she's lovely. And so it was really fun. We had a great time. One of the producers in the suite. And it was great. And the picture, he, we were gonna take a selfie, and I'm short. I'm like not even 5'4", and he's kind of tall. So the selfie was awkward. So I jumped up.
That makes sense. That's what I was wondering because the jumping up was something, and I saw that. I was like, that means something more. The selfie itself, fine. I saw the behind the scenes. I was like, wait a second, Leslie, what's happening here?
And you guys, I swear to God, it was just as innocent as that. It was just kind of like he was going down. I was trying to get up, and I'm like, wait a minute, I have an idea. Catch me. And I jumped up and I took it. It was just really like
That's
that.
yeah, it's a logistical compromise. It makes sense. That explanation makes sense to me. I get it. I will
Yeah.
say though, if he invited you there, to me that sounds like a date, Leslie. I don't know. Are you
Oh,
considering it a date?
no, I don't know. I don't think so. I think we're just friends right now. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? But listen, again, he's just coming off of this thing.
Yeah.
I know exactly where he is, how he's feeling, what he wants to do, the confusion, the whole thing. And I have much more clarity now a year into it, and he's just not there. So I don't know if listen, he's probably got a million girls sliding into his DMs because for some reason all these guys don't have a problem finding girls, but all of us don't have boyfriends, which is very strange.
It's a damn shame.
Yeah,
How
I've had
Yeah.
3 dates in 1 year.
well,
You would think it'd be
four.
the opposite.
We're counting Jordan.
Okay, fine,
Yeah.
count Jordan.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I'll ask you then, Mike. You invite a girl to a soccer game. That's a date, right?
If I have well, first that's imagining me having access to a suite for a soccer game, which
Yeah.
that's not possible right now.
Yeah.
If I invite a girl, yeah, I mean, I
Wait,
would consider that a date. But if
Michael,
it's,
if you invite a
but
girl for
if
a
she's,
soccer game with a whole bunch of other people, that's not really,
then that's not a date. That's not a date. That's a
no. That's
no. That's
I
not
called it a meet and greet because that's
Did
social.
in the music venue lingo. A meet and greet
okay.
is a ticket. You
Okay.
Yeah.
get so that's I always say meet and greet because that's what I'm used to. So I call it a meet and greet.
All right, agree to
Yeah.
disagree. You call a meet and greet, we'll call it a date, and
It's
we
not
can
one on
go.
one, so it's probably not
All right.
considered a date.
So going back to kind of what you were saying though, post show, how can we help? What are you looking for? How can we set you up? Like we want to help you out, Leslie. That's our only goal here.
Oh my God, you guys, I love you guys. How do you want to help me? Like find a guy?
Yeah, we can find or whatever you need. Do you want a guy right now? We can look.
Batchmakers play matchmaker.
Yeah.
It's gotta.
I do want to find somebody. I mean, listen, I have a really great life. I'm really happy. Hey, after we get off, I get to go and watch my shows on Netflix. I mean, I'm good. Um, and I'm out a lot. I have friends. My kids are my best friends, and I have grandkids. I have a really good life. It's very full. I am missing that piece that I want to share it with. I do want. I do I need to get married again? No. But I do want to be with somebody and share my life with them and share, our lives together and families and all that stuff and holidays and birthdays and all that stuff. So yeah, I do want to find somebody, but I am a little picky, and I want the right one.
All right.
Yeah. But if you have
Any,
any cute ones, send them my way.
I happily, if I find any, I will send them your. I think we need us three single people. We need to start a dating podcast.
Oh my God. It could be, oh, I can get it. I can come up
we
with a
we
name.
ask we
Yeah,
ask her for advice, for girl advice,
yeah,
and
I,
she
if
can
I,
ask us for dude advice.
you guys are probably like the same ages as my kids, so I can like, I give them advice. I might as,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
That would be all. I think we might have
we
covered it
could
on
use
the
some.
show. We could definitely use the advice too. So if you have any like nuggets you want to send it our way, like we're open. We're
Well,
desperate at
I
this
don't know.
point.
I think you guys are adorable. I mean, I can't believe that.
Oh,
Really.
stop it!
Stop. Nah, you're too nice, Leslie. So I'm assuming then you'd be open to a Golden in Paradise, whatever that if anything like that surfaces. I don't know if they're gonna do anything.
I'd be open to that. I mean, I think that would be fun. I don't know if that would happen. I mean, I feel like a lot of those other girls, they went to the Men Tell All in the finale of Joan's season, and they kind of met a lot of the guys. So I don't know. I you know.
What would be like your ideal? You can script or set this show up however you want. Would it be we've thrown out the idea of doing it on a cruise ship?
Oh,
That would be fun. Is
yeah.
there any like what would you be open for? Like what how could you make this more fun for you?
Um, I think I'd be open to. I'm not crazy about cruises, but if it was
Okay.
the right one, I've been only on one. It was the Disney cruise with Zach and the kids, but it was only 4 days, and that was enough. But like Palm Springs or a place like that. I go to Costa Rica. I love. I'm not crazy about Mexico. Um, can't drink the water. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
You gotta put toilet paper in. You can't flush it. Um, so, but Costa Rica, you can do all those things. And by the way, where I went in Costa Rica with the show is not where I go. I do fitness retreats, and we go to Tamarindo, and
Oh,
it's a surf town, so it's really great.
oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I would be open.
So
I would be open to. I think that would be fun. I just don't know, if they would do it this year or wait till they get more
Yeah.
golden people. You know, I don't know.
yeah,
No.
I feel like there's definitely interest there. We've obviously had the cruise idea. They're probably going to steal it from us. They steal a lot of ideas from us.
They always
It's
do.
I knew
facts.
it.
Yeah.
Knew
They
it.
do. They
I was
do.
doing that show and I didn't even know you, and I knew that they stole.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's all us. We're the puppet master.
We got the strings. It's
By the
always
way, I
us.
made my son Eli watch The Bachelor with me from since he was a little boy, and I feel like he's a little bit more of a romantic kind of guy because he's watched that show with me.
That hasn't helped us,
Yeah.
but at least it's helping someone.
Well, wait, if you got a girlfriend, Wyatt, it might help you.
Yeah,
Once you're in a
Yeah.
relationship, I think it
you're
can
right.
help you. All those things would come back.
You're right. I'll hand out a
I'm,
rose after every date.
I'm not. I don't think my girlfriend's gonna like it when I'm dating 26 other women.
Okay, well, not that. Okay.
Sorry, that was so good. I couldn't resist.
That's great.
Okay, let me get back to
Get back on track, guys. Come on.
Yeah,
back on track. Back on track. So, you've completed 10 marathons.
I
Is
did
that
it.
correct?
Yes.
I'm about to do my first in April, this coming April. Do you have any tips
Yes,
or
I do.
tricks? And what's your current relationship with running?
Well, I started running. I used to be a figure skater, and I was I was a professional figure skater in a show called The Ice Follies, which is actually now the same thing as Disney on Ice. But
Okay.
we go to different cities, and obviously, and when I first started the show, I was not very healthy. None of us were. We were drinking a lot, smoking cigarettes. It was bad. It's just party, 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 and then you got to skate. And I felt, and that's not really how I grew up. But you're in a show and you're doing, And one day I woke up and it was in San Bernardino, California, and I'm like, I'm done. I threw my cigarettes away. And I went to the mall and I got a pair of Nikes with the swoosh and I started jogging because that's what it was called back then. And that's kind of how I got into running. And then I wanted to run one marathon. And we have a marathon in Minneapolis called Twin Cities Marathon. It's gorgeous. It's October. The leaves are starting to turn. It's beautiful. And I trained all summer long for it and I ran and I did really well. Like I didn't realize this because I could have cared less. I just wanted to finish, but I qualified for Boston Marathon.
Oh,
Oh
So
wow.
then I had to run Boston Marathon like 4 months later, and that was hard because I wasn't used to running in the snow. But because I had to train in the winter. But anyway, so that led into something else, and then it led into another one, and then before I know it, then we all my friends applied to get into New York, and it's a lottery, and I was the only one that got in. So I ran that one alone, really. And so yeah, I ran all of a sudden before I know it, I had 10 marathons under my belt.
that's so
Wow.
you're at
So
10.
casual.
Yeah, it's just a casual 10
Just
marathons.
a
That's
casual.
insane.
I said I'm stopping. My last one was
Okay.
Rock and Roll Marathon in San Diego, and that was it. I'm done.
10's like the perfect number to
Yeah.
stop at too. Like even 11 doesn't sound as
No.
cool as 10.
I couldn't
Yeah,
stop
10's
at
perfect.
9.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
That's
did 10.
that's
So which one are you doing, Michael?
I'm doing the Carmel Marathon in Carmel, Indiana.
That
So.
was the one I wanted to make 11.
Oh
Wait,
really?
actually?
Do it this coming
Yeah,
April.
no.
It's literally
I
Wyatt
don't
will be
run
there.
I'll be
anymore.
there.
I don't.
Wyatt will be there supporting
Okay,
me.
all right, Leslie, you just come down and we can support Michael together. That's like our backyard.
Okay, well let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
So,
I didn't even know you were doing that.
Well, I told you like last month when
I
I was
forget
I saw you like 2 weeks ago.
I forget things.
wait, so how long have you it's in April? Okay.
Yeah.
You got time.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I've been running a bit, but
This is what I would say. Once you're done with your training, I only ran my longest run was 18 miles because if you can run 18, you can run 26 really. Plus, but I was doing other things. I mean, I was teaching, so I was like teaching spin class and doing all these other things. So I kind of, put that in there. But I would just say when you run that marathon, you need to start out slow. You're going to want to go fast because everyone's passing you and you're going to get anxiety and you're like, oh, they're passing me, passing me. Don't worry about it. Just start out slow, slow and steady because I've done it both ways and I burnt out when I went too fast. And when I went slow, that was my best marathons. And then you're passing everybody at the end.
There you go, Mike.
sounds
It's
good.
wise words.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Yep. Slow and steady wins the race. Don't worry about everyone else. Just focus.
Sorry to change the subject,
That's
but I
okay.
do want to get this in here. You want to talk about the Vikings for a second?
Oh my God. I
Wha-
was waiting to talk to you.
Yep.
I didn't text you because I couldn't wait to talk.
What I can't comprehend what happened yesterday because I've never seen a quarterback performance like that. I can't wrap my head around this season, Leslie.
I can't either.
Like expectations were rock bottom. People
Yep.
thought we were gonna suck, and now we're 11-2.
I know.
And now I'm thinking Super Bowl. Am I crazy to start
No.
thinking Super Bowl?
No, but don't do it, Wyatt.
Oh,
Don't
no.
do it. Please don't do that. Let's just live in the moment.
Yep. Week by week, 1 week at a time.
By week, it's like 1 week at a time, like when you go to AA, 1 week at a time.
It feels like being a Vikings fan. Again, you've probably done it longer than I have, but it feels like AA. It feels like I just keep getting roped back in, and then I go back, and then I fall off the wagon.
Exactly. And I'm not a fair weather fan, but it's so hard sometimes at the end of the season. So let's just take it 1 week at a time, and let's not think about the Super Bowl because we know what happens at the playoffs.
Yep.
And so let's just enjoy what we have going on here.
I have to do this. What's your Vikings horror story? What's the one event, one game that sits with you? Mine, I have two, might be one of yours. The 2009 NFC Championship game against the Saints. That one hurts. That's the first time I really remember being hurt because I was 9. And then Blair Walsh obviously
Yeah.
ripped my heart out. But
Yeah. I would say the same thing.
okay.
And yeah, I mean, it was devastating, and how can it get worse than that?
No, it's I don't it's so hard because I'm not surrounded by Vikings fans.
Yeah.
Not to say it's easy for you, but when I lose, I have no comfort. There's no safe space besides like my dad and my brothers who are Vikings fans. Everyone else is a Colts fan. Mike's a Patriots fan for some reason. He's irrelevant in this conversation. But I have no like. There's no safe space for me. So
No.
is it nice to at least have that? Where like, hey, at least we're all suffering together.
We do. Like, it is nice to have the camaraderie of the painfulness of when we lose, and yeah. But it's also really great, like when we win, like we just can't, like, the whole city is elated, every Monday when we win or whatever. But it's, yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm going to the Packers Vikings game on the 29th.
Oh, sweet.
Guess who's going
That's
to be there?
Nice.
Who?
Joey, Kelsey, and Mark.
Shut up.
Yeah, because
Okay.
Joey is a Packers fan, and Kelsey and
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, they're Vikings
we're all
fans. Yeah.
we're gonna be in the suite together.
Okay, Leslie, I have one
so
favor.
cool.
One favor.
Mhm.
And if you've ever loved our show or us in any way, please. Joey is supposed to play me in a tennis match. He's agreed to it on TikTok.
Really?
And this was before Dancing with the Stars.
Okay.
It's before his season,
No, it was
right?
no, it was after
It's
his
before
season.
his
It was
season?
after his season. It was over the summer. His season was the winner. And then I challenged him on TikTok to a tennis match. He commented and said, "I'm in," or something along those lines.
All right.
And then Dancing with the Stars happened and he kind of forgot about it. I just need you to remind him that he has to play me at some point. Let him know I will travel, go wherever. If you could do that for me, you are batchmaker number one.
No,
We might have to.
I'm gonna do that. I
Thank
love
you.
you.
That's all.
I'm not
I
gonna do that. I mean, he lives in LA now, so you're gonna have to go to
Yeah.
LA.
Fine. Wherever. I'll go wherever. I'm gonna kick his ass too, Leslie.
You're
I
gonna
can
kick his
promise.
ass?
You can tell him that. You can tell him I'm gonna kick his ass in tennis.
Ooh, are you
I
a
could-
tennis player, Wyatt?
Yeah, I played tennis in college and I coach it right now.
Oh my God. Well,
Yeah.
he needs to play you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And you don't have to tell him I'll kick his ass. He knows it, but that's all I'm asking for. And I
For charity.
Yeah, well, for charity, we'll raise money somehow.
Oh, that would be
do the job.
good. Yeah.
There we go. That's
Okay.
all I'm asking. I'm just asking for a shot, so I would appreciate
I
that.
will, when I see him, I'll talk to him about it.
I'll remind you too. Don't worry.
I'm sure you will.
Yeah.
So we know you teach your dancing classes. Between Wyatt and myself, who do you think would one be better / survive your dancing classes? And I'll give you some context. I did do musical theater growing up and have dance experience. So
Well, before you said that, Mike, I thought it was going to be you.
Oh, that's
no. Whoa. Okay.
I don't know.
That's hurtful for
Have
Wyatt.
kind of
That's
a
funny.
little bit more of a vibe,
I'm too tall and lanky.
Thank
I
you.
got my arms just go everywhere.
Yeah, but you're good, Wyatt.
All
But
right.
I think Michael's the one that would kick
That's
it
fair.
in my
I'm
dance
not-
class.
That's the right
This is
answer
going
for
by
sure.
name.
So I can't be too mad.
I really,
I'd for sure be.
I really would love. We should do a dance class for charity, Mike.
Yeah, Mike.
There we go. Hey, I'm down. I'll dance on TikTok Live. I will dance on whatever. I have no shame.
There we
I have no shame.
We can do
Oh,
a
I'm the first
TikTok.
one out on the dance
We can
floor.
do a TikTok together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be.
I'll
We
do
can do
a
the
step,
renegade.
and then you do a step, and then
There you go.
Yeah,
We
let's
need
do
it.
I'm.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
All right,
mm.
we'll wrap up here with a few kind of just random questions.
Okay.
I want to ask you kind of a three-parter. What are you listening to? What have you watched recently? And what are you reading?
Oh, I like that. I'm reading right now. It's called In the Blink of an Eye. I'm a crime junkie, so
Okay.
I love anything crime. That's what I'm reading right now. Watching. I just I don't think I'm done yet, but it's a really good show called Paris Has Fallen. Paris Has Fallen. It's on Netflix. It's really good. It's kind of espionage, terrorist kind of thing in Paris. I love shows like that. I'm also just finished Man on the Inside, which I thought was fabulous with Ted Danson. Love that show. I just saw Wicked. That was an amazing movie.
So good.
Oh my
It's
God.
so good.
I loved that movie. And then what I'm listening to, well, I have two favorite bands that I love to listen to. I love Glass Animals, and their new album is really, really great. And then I am so excited because tomorrow night I'm going to be in Chicago and I'm going to see Cage the Elephant, and they're one of my favorite bands.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That'd be so fun.
Yeah.
I'm asking this because I just recorded my top 10 movies of the year video. What's your
Yes.
favorite movie of the year that you've
Oh,
seen?
favorite movie of the year? Give me an example. I don't know. I see
Um,
many.
Wicked, Dune 2. I don't know if you saw Nora, but it's very good.
Okay,
Kind of a little
so
different.
you know what? I just screenshotted of all the movies that I have to see because I need to tell you this, that the Academy Awards and the Golden Globes, I see every movie that's up. That's my goal. Every movie, I see them all. In fact, sometimes I'm like at game day, I'm watching 3 movies that day that the Academy Awards are on because
Yeah.
I got to get it in. So I haven't really, I probably need to do that. So far Wicked because I just saw
Yeah.
it, but it's such a different category, I think, than some of the other movies. But what movie was I just saw that the acting was so good. I can't. Oh, you know what I just saw? Oh, I told you the Bob Dylan movie.
Oh, I haven't seen that. So I didn't make my list.
First of all, it's mind blowing how he sounds just like him.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's going to be up for Academy Award for that movie.
Yeah.
It was really, really good. And Bob Dylan is from Minnesota, and it's great. It was awesome.
We'll have to talk more movies because I do the same thing. I watch all those movies. Like I've seen every movie. I'll tell you right now, you can skip Amelia Perez. It's gonna win some awards.
Okay,
you
really?
Can skip
Because
it.
my friend says I have to see it.
Okay, maybe your friend likes it. I watch it. I was not a fan.
Okay, I'm gonna watch it and then we're gonna compare notes. But you and I have a really good show in common that we love.
New Girl?
Yeah.
Whoa, let's go, Leslie. I see. I knew this was gonna work. I knew we were gonna be best friends. It's as simple as that.
I mean, that's the most underrated show ever.
Yes, this is amazing, Mike. Are you listening to this,
Ever?
Michael? Yes.
I mean, I like New Girl. It's like in my top 10 for sure. But most underrated show ever.
It doesn't get the love. It does not get the love.
It is one of the funniest shows I've ever seen. I don't know. I couldn't get enough of it, and I just kept. And then I'd say, "Oh my God, do you watch New Girl? Do you watch New Girl?" And people are like, "No." And I'm like, "How can you not watch New Girl?" So,
Leslie, this is the best moment I've ever had on the show. This is finally get validation. I appreciate that. Oh, it's so good. Mike, you have any last questions?
I guess my one TV show recommendation is Severance. Season 2 is coming out in January. So if you haven't seen season 1,
what?
It's kind of Severance. It's on Apple TV.
Wait, is it Apple?
Apple TV.
I love that show.
It's fire. That's my favorite current show.
Very good.
I'm looking forward to January. So
yeah, I mean, I watch everything really. So
yeah, sweet. Well, hopefully a lot of people have watched this interview. Leslie, thank you so much for coming on. This was super fun. Maybe we'll have you back on. We can do some other stuff together, but this was very fun. We appreciate it.
Do you guys do call-ins? People could call us.
Yeah. We need to start this dating podcast where just people call in for relationship advice.
Seriously.
That would be so
and one person gives the good advice. I'll be the devil on the shoulder. Yeah. I'll be the toxic advice.
And Leslie will be like the wise one who actually gives
the wise old one. I know that's what you wanted to say.
I was never gonna say that. Golden.
The golden
one.
I would love that. I would love that. I think I'd be good at that. Well, you guys definitely would be good at it. but
We'll maybe we can work something out. That'd be fun. But
Okay.
thanks again, Leslie. We
I'm game.
appreciate this. Thanks for watching this episode of BachMakers. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider joining our Patreon page linked in the description below. It's $5, cup of coffee, and it helps support us a ton. Thank you, and maybe we'll see you next week.
Yeah, and from next week on the BachMakers, we shave Wyatt's head off.
Maybe. Only one way to find out.
By tuning in.
That was implied.
Back to you in the studio.
And cut.
Thanks, Julianne.